Second. And thank you again. Okay, perfect, perfect. Boom. Here we go. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who is going to give us some information as well as some inspiration, and that is none other than Brother Farrakhan Muhammad. First of all, assalamu Brother Farrakhan Ali. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on, sir. Um, so many people are, showing you love, and they're going to continue to show you love on YouTube as well. But a name, how did your name come about?
My mother gave me the name while she was pregnant, so I didn't. She was. It was like in the 80s, and the Jews were really attacking the minister a lot, and she had a somewhat of a, I guess you could call it a vision, and being of the Jewish faith, it's really difficult to kind of explain what caused her to do it, other than she said she had a vision. So in the vision, there was this man who was speaking to people, and he was like, "My name is Farrakhan, like the second generation or helper of the first Farrakhan," something symbolizing like a Farrakhan helping the Farrakhan, right?
Okay.
And she said that everyone there had already like acknowledged who Farrakhan was, the Farrakhan. And so when I said that, she said that the people just like exploded and went crazy. And she said that in that vision, that man that was speaking to those people saying, "My name is Farrakhan," that was actually, she was pregnant, and that was her child, and that she now had to name her child Farrakhan, and that would be, something that he would grow up to do at some point in his life. And so she accepted it, and although it was probably the most difficult thing anyone could try to do other than resurrect our people, it was something that she was sure about, and so she followed through with it.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And your mother, being of the Jewish faith, how has she impacted your life? Just being a mother, how has your mom's impacted you?
Yeah, sure. So my mother, after she had the vision, she wanted to go hear Minister Farrakhan speak, because he came to the city. He was on a Stop the Killing tour, I think.
Okay.
City in a public speech, and she came, this little white, she was in her 40s, so she's small. It was probably a sight to see. And she said that he was the one that would free everyone. She said that God made him. God made this man to save humanity, in a sense, like the Messiah, basically, because the Jews are waiting for this, like this is something that they're looking for. So her being educated up in that idea, she found him, like she found the man that the Jews had been talking about all this time. And she said that Minister Farrakhan would get all of God's people, and she was disowned, she was disinherited, she was ridiculed, she was mocked, she lost everything. She lost her home, she lost her family, her father, the money that was left to her, millions of dollars that she didn't regret it for a second. Like she was convinced that God, set her on this course, and that she had found a man, and that she was going to follow through with the vision that was shown to her, regardless of what anyone felt about it. So obviously everyone looked at her like she was crazy, right? Black people are looking at her like, "Lady, you gotta be kidding me. Like, can we have something to ourselves? Like, now you gotta come all the way over here and get the minister." Like, white people talk about cultural appropriation and took the name and everything, but
yeah.
she didn't desire to. It wasn't something she intended to do. It was something that just kind of came to her, and she accepted it. and she accepted her role in this big game of life that Allah has set up for us. And so yeah, and so because she was put out of her home, she was homeless, penniless, and so actually when I was born, we were homeless.
Mm.
And she had to go to her adult son, who was grown at the time. She has a son and a daughter from a previous marriage, and they're both white. Her first husband, your typical white, semi-affluent, upper middle class couple. So she went to him, and he was renting a studio, but he didn't have room for us. And he was like a shared thing because he was a college student. So actually she used his dresser drawer just as my bed. Like, well, at least just let me use the dresser drawer for my son to use as a bed for him. So we were literally homeless and using a dresser drawer as a bed for me. And the city was giving away these houses for homeless pregnant women or pregnant women that had just given birth. So they had these condemned homes. So they gave us one, and it was in the worst part of the city, but it was a roof over our head. So, North Philadelphia in the 80s, pretty rough spot, Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad that you all persevered and survived that. How is the relationship between your mother now?
She passed away.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. May Allah be pleased.
Thank you.
What?
She passed away 1 month after I got registered in the Nation of Islam. I mean, 1 week. I'm sorry, 1 week.
Mm.
She said before she passed, she said, "I can go now because you made it to Minister Farrakhan." That was her sentiment as she passed away.
Mm.
And so she left a happy woman.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Okay, yes, sir. And what inspired you to get registered? What inspired you to get registered?
Yeah, so my childhood, my mother told me at a very young age that you were only born to go help Minister Farrakhan. But we were so far away from any kind of Islamic community. Like, so she didn't raise me around any of the Muslims. So I didn't know anything about it. I just knew there was a guy named Minister Farrakhan, and there was this guy named Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And my mom told me we didn't follow Martin Luther King because he was nonviolent. So like, okay, cool. So and so I just I grew up like, okay, my mom might be, I don't know, the vision, I don't know. It's just me and her. There's no one. So I have no other narrative to go off of except the one she's giving me. And because we were so poor, we were struggling. Our neighborhood was so rough. It was difficult, man. It was really difficult. And we stayed in that neighborhood by choice. So she wanted to stay in the neighborhood. And then when I grew up, I asked her why. And she said, well, because I wanted you to be able to relate to your people.
Mm.
And it just is mind blowing because as a father, it's like, I don't know if I'd be able to do that with my children. Like, I want you to be servants of humanity, but that's a lot, that's a lot. And so when I grew up, I just, in the back of my mind, I always knew Farrakhan was literally like the savior for humanity. As far as I knew, I didn't know of any Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I didn't know Master Fard Muhammad. I had never known anything about that. I just knew that there was Minister Farrakhan. And when I grew up, I decided that I would go find him and I would go help him. When I was in my 20s and I had tried to be normal, and I was like, all right, I've done a lot of things. It's time for me to go find Minister Farrakhan and help him. So I came to the mosque.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And we have a few more questions for you. And so many people are sending the greetings. My sister Miriam, of course, sends the greetings, and everyone who's in the comments and I always mess up the name, but I want to say Alicia Taylor. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who always tunes in. Okay, perfect. My next question for you, sir, is: did you ever get a chance to tell the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan your story and how you got your name?
I did. I did. I was trying to get registered in the nation, and it was a process. It took me 2 years of processing to
Okay.
join the nation because of the name. That's all. You can't be named Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam, right? Unless you meet certain criteria. And so it was really difficult. And I was at Savior's Day, my first Savior's Day, and I literally bumped into someone. And I turned around, and it's Brother Burby Muhammad.
Mm.
I literally we bumped into each other, and I turned around, and I'm like, "Oh, excuse me, sorry about that." And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. What's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, my name is Farrakhan." He's like, "What? Farrakhan?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What mosque?" And then I was like, "Well, I'm not registered. I can't get registered yet. They told me I have to change my name or something like that. I don't know, but I do want to join." And he's like, "Okay, take my phone number. Call me when you get back home. We'll figure it out." So I call him, and he takes it to Minister Farrakhan. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has him call me, and he starts asking me questions on the phone, right? How many papers you selling? Are you shucking and jiving with my name? Like who, just basically just getting to know me. And so that went great. And then so a couple months go by, and Brother Burby calls me one more time. He's like, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wants to know what you think he should do.
mm, mm.
And I said, well, I want to do whatever he wants me to do. And so he had him there. I think he had him there, and he told him, and he's like, okay, yes, sir. And then the next day he calls me. He's like, the minister invited us over. And at the beginning of the meeting, he said that the brother named Farrakhan is going to get registered as Farrakhan, and he's going to be Farrakhan Muhammad. And so let the local officials know, because they were trying to change my name and do all kind of other stuff. And I was totally okay with whatever I had to do to join the Nation of Islam. I didn't really care. And but it ended up being best case scenario. So yes, sir. That's how that happened.
Praise be to Allah. So once you told the minister, he was pleased to hear your name, and you joined, hear your story. You joined the nation. Beautiful, beautiful. And did you ever reconnect with any of your other, like your mother's side of the family? Have you ever reconnected? How did that work out?
Um, kind of. We don't talk, but we have a peaceful relationship. It's been so long, but I do believe that they're happy for me, um, because you reach a certain point in your development where you realize that humanity's struggle really is one. It's one struggle. It's the struggle within self, and it's the struggle outside of self. And so these are not the types of people that hate the minister because he calls Jews to corrective behavior. They're not in that group. And so they can appreciate what we're trying to accomplish. Absolutely. But at the same time, we don't talk. Some of our teachings, some white people just, you know, yeah. So, but yeah, we're on good terms. We're on good terms.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. That's a happy ending. Excellent. That's a great story. So many people are showing you love. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. My next question for you, sir, is: speaking of business and you growing up poor and needing and your mother wanting you to have a Muslim community or a community of Black people that you can identify with, you called me recently and told me about a new community that you're working on. That is to tell us about the community that you're working on right now.
Yeah, so a few years ago, I was in Saudi Arabia making Umrah during Ramadan. And I was praying to Allah, asking, just being grateful for the opportunity to be able to travel and to try to grow in spirituality and to become a better Muslim and to understand some of the sacred rituals that are given to us by the Prophet, peace be upon him. And as I'm walking around the Kaaba, the thought came to me that our people really need to be warned, that we're really in the time now of warning. And if I'm going to help the minister, then I have to be a part of that warning. I have to come back to America. And as a brother, if I'm truly going to be your brother, I have to warn you that we can accept what the minister is saying, or we will suffer severe consequences. Mm-hmm. And all the minister is calling us to is corrective behavior. He's just reconciling man back to God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our original selves. And he's got a great language and nice principles and all of this stuff to get you acquainted with your original self. And you know, if we could just accept some of that as a way of life, then we could be saved. And so once we accept that as a way of life, we should be separated from those who reject that way of life. And we should live with like-minded people. So I came up with something called Project Separation, which is basically every Black man in America. It was basically just the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just put in the form of a petition and a website, so that you could actually sign a petition saying you agree to separate from your 400-year-old enemy and go into a separate state or territory. So it was collecting those names, you know, and collecting that information and correlating that data to pull those people together, pull their minds, their resources, their money together to build a separate state or territory in America. And it never really finished because of COVID, right? I went around the country with Dr. Ava Muhammad doing town halls. It was an amazing experience. So when I started buying land in Georgia, just me and some friends, and it expanded, me and others decided to start buying land in Georgia. Someone reached out and they said, well, I have 100 acres of land. Are you interested in it? And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, but that's a lot for me, but we can do something else. We can build a community with it. People are ready to separate. I saw that in the town halls. They just we don't have the cohesive unity that it takes to organize the people who are ready and kind of mobilize us all in one direction. And so this land, I told them about the idea of a community. And they said, well, if you're going to use it to build a community, you can have the land. You can have it, no money, no strings attached, to use to build a community. So I'm like, okay, great, let's do it. And the next day I put it on social media. People went crazy. They told people. And so since then, it's about a week ago, my phone has literally been off the hook. Text messages, inboxes. I don't even know how people are getting my phone number at this point. I'm getting text messages like, Assalamu alaikum. I got the Hotep. I got the Grand Rising. I mean, yes, I got the whole Black community ready. Like every type of Black conscious, brown, Latino. I mean, I've had, you know, Asians. Oh my God, there's so many people who are like-minded. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that, you know, in the Bible, it says that the children of Israel left Egypt with the multitudes. And he explained how that signifies people of various races and cultures not finding a solid future for themselves in America and wanting to come with us. So this is not the grand, the all in all, but this is absolutely a tangible first step. Mm. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but since I've been communicating and corresponding, we're almost full to capacity on the 100 acres. So yeah, it's amazing. 40 acres of it is for farming, 30 acres of it is for grazing, 30 acres of it is for residential. I'm not making a dime. I'm literally paying the same amount of money that everyone else is paying so I can live there. Because yeah, oh, praise be to Allah. This is divine unity. This is not a brother at the top at all. This is, okay, someone gave me the land and now I'm giving it to everyone else so that we can come together and live in harmony with the laws of nature and the laws of God, make our ancestors proud, make our children proud, secure our women, teach our babies, grow our own food so we can stop shucking and jiving and begging a white man for food, clothing, and shelter. When we can unite our resources, our minds, our love, our hearts, our sacrifice, our blood, sweat, and tears, and use them for our own benefit, like true and living gods and Black men and women who are alive to the knowledge of self, and stop living like, you know, like something less than what we actually are. So, excuse me. So yes, sir. Brother, God literally has given us land through these amazing, beautiful Black people. He's intervening to give us a chance to pull our resources. There's no one at the top stopping this. There's no greedy intercessor. There's no one who's selling the land. I didn't pay anything for it, so I'm not charging anyone a dime. The only money we're paying is the total amount of the construction of the community divided by the number of households. That's it. I pay it, you pay it, they pay it. And we use that to build the infrastructure, the farming, the grading, moving the land, the animals, the crops, the seeds, the barns, the irrigation. Our money builds the community, so we own it. We own it because we paid for it and we oversaw the building of it. It's in harmony with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because we are the people who are organizing this, at least, we're his followers under the guidance and leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So everything, it's not only for people in the Nation of Islam, but everything is in harmony with the teachings of the Nation of Islam. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not only for quote unquote the Muslims in the Nation of Islam, it's for God-fearing people that want to live in harmony with one another. And because we've been given so much already by our great teachers, we don't have to invent anything. We don't have to come up with anything. All we have to do is take what we've already been given, what's already here in the Nation of Islam, and just apply it. We don't have to change anything. We only have to do a better job at living what we've been taught. And then by nature, we'll do a better job at expressing it and interacting with one another. And so us having this environment allows us to be saved from the destruction of our morals, the destruction of the educational system in America. It allows us to be saved from the mass industrial, from the mass prison, the prison industrial complex. It allows us a chance to save our children, where you don't have to worry about your little 3-year-olds getting kidnapped or run over by a car when you let them out the house.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. Go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So it's really a chance for us to express our way of life as we've been taught.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And speaking, so many people are commenting, and once we put it on YouTube, you know, you're gonna get a lot of shares. And thank you all for subscribing and sharing the People's Podcast. I have a quick 60-second commercial because I want to come back to you and ask you about how can we support you, those of us who may not be a part of the 100 acres, actively a part of that, because you said you already almost filled up. But we want to come back and ask you that just 1 second. I have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. I thank you all very much. You all have no idea. We're prepared to start a new month, and I want to thank all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. If you would like to make a donation, please Cash App the People's Podcast on Cash App to keep this wonderful program going. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Thank you very much. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon, and she just got featured in a magazine right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you very much. Make sure we go out and get that. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. We love our tiny dancers. Thank you very much. Our brothers out of Los Angeles, MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Thank you very much. Make sure you go out and support those brothers. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere across the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. Boom. Our sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen of Zai Poetry and Apparel. Sister Latasha, Queen of Zai Poetry and Apparel. We look forward to those shirts as well as some of her amazing poetry. Our brother out of Chicago, Hip Hop Detox, Brother Enoch Hip Hop Detox is a wealth vehicle that empowers and uses a holistic approach to empower young youth all across the country. Thank you very much. In the school systems, thank you very much, Brother Enoch. Our brother brother Dr. Robert J. Muhammad out of Chicago, Illinois. Why Does My Back Hurt? And additional health tips. He has a new book on Amazon. Dr. Robert J. Muhammad, Why Does My Back Hurt? And additional health tips. It's on Amazon. Make sure we get out and support Dr. Robert J. Muhammad. Our sister Landra L. Muhammad, my letter A book. We're coming right back to our brother Farrakhan. My letter A book, Sister Landra L. Muhammad. Also, Dr. Henry M. Carter, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. King Henry's Turkey Legs. Thank you very much, Dr. Carter. Brother Rashad Muhammad in Chicago, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services. Make sure we go out and support him. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. Thank you very much, Dad. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book on Amazon, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all very much for your continued sponsorships and donorships. Please cash out the People's Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much, Sister Lovett, for always showing love. All right, boom. Brother Farrakhan. So how can we support it if we are not living on the land? Can we still support you?
Yeah, of course. And we still have some room. We have a lot of people who have committed, but not everyone has reserved a spot. So the website is up and going. And on the website, you can learn more, you can reserve your land, and you can also donate. The website's name is the number 100acreproject.com, 100acreproject.com. And on that website, you can donate or you can reserve your land, or you can just find out more information. And there are a lot of expenses, and the only, like I said, the money that we're paying, all of it goes to building the community. So this is not in any way, shape, or form a for-profit venture. I started an investment group, and we're buying land in Georgia. And I have probably 20 or 30 people who are actively looking right now. Tomorrow, we're going to see another property here, a 10-acre property. But this 100-acre project is in no way a for-profit venture. This is for the people, this is for Allah, and this is for Islam. This is for us to do what's in our hearts, to serve God, to treat our people right, and produce something for our babies so that our women will respect us, and so that our children can further on with the work that we've done. We've shown and proven that we can come together and do something for ourselves rather than wait for others to do for us, or rather than rely on someone else to come into our communities and provide the things that we need. We can produce them. We will consume what we produce, and we will sell the extra. So teaches the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, the only thing I'm asking you to do is unite. That's it. He said, that's the only thing I'm asking you to do. And so that's the same thing I'm asking people to do, is let's unite, not with me, but with us, with our people, with one another, with all of us, with an idea. Let's unite around an idea. Let's unite around the truth. This is our chance. God gave us 100 acres of land. No one is charging us for it. It's literally a landscape for the mind of God to paint on. So on the website, you can go on there. There's an email on there. There's a bunch of links. You can check everything on there. And that's just the first phase of the website. We have more coming. We have a dental lab that's going to be built on the property. There's a Black-owned dental school on the East Coast. She's going to come and set up an educational facility there. so that she's going to do dental lab training, dental assistant training, and CNA training right there on the property, so that our babies can learn how to literally make teeth and all kind of other amazing things. We have a brother in North Carolina that has his own school, very successful school. He's going to come and help us with the education to set up an educational institution there on the property. So we will be teaching and training our babies in the way of God. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Praise be to Allah. This is beautiful. So many people are commenting. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. And can you give us the website one more time, sir?
Yeah, it's 100acreproject.com. And the 100 is the number 100. 100. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And Brother Farrakhan, when you're not busy building communities and things like that, what do you what do you do for fun, sir?
For fun, I read a lot. I probably read, a book or two a week, at least. I like to paint.
Okay, okay.
I'm an artist. I also collect art. I also sell art. It's one of the things that I do. I turned a hobby into a profit. I also like to study my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I like to go over his speeches, go over his words, and figure out ways that I can apply them. But more so, even more than that, ways that I can help our people, because our people are suffering so much due just lack of knowledge. That's it. Like, they just don't know that they can be resurrected. They don't know that there's a way outside of a structure of white supremacy that they can function inside of. I live in my own world because it revolves around what's in my mind. And what's in my mind is what God put in there. So the minister said that he who prescribes the circumference of the diameter of your thought, he who prescribes the diameter of your thought controls the circumference of your actions. So whoever puts that here has got you running around it. The white man was here in my mind. I extracted him and put God in through Minister Farrakhan. So now it's like as I do that, if I can keep the minister in my consciousness, and not that he's Allah, but he's the teacher, he's the example, he's the roadmap, he's the blueprint, he's the one that God chose to teach you about him. But the Holy Quran, that's there. The Holy Quran says that who else would God send to man but man? So by keeping this idea in my consciousness, I don't know, my activity is surrounded by my faith, and so it can get pretty repetitive, and I love it, because we're trying to recover from what white America turned us into, which is niggers and murderers and liars and thieves. All of this is up in us. And the white man took it and magnified it and brought it out of us. And it's got us running around here like something other than what God created. So I'm forever grateful for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother, for allowing me to go from something the white man turned me into to get a chance to submit to God and become what God wants me to become. You understand? Yes, sir. So that's pretty much what I do, is just try to become a decent human being.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you all for your comments. Thank you, Brother Captain Deshane, as well, for your comment, letting us know the website, putting it in the group chat. What type of music do you listen to, sir?
Well, when I was before I was practicing Islam, I was into rap, hip hop. That was it. I haven't listened to a rap song or hip hop song outside of some conscious songs in years. I love Kanye West.
Okay.
Love Kanye West, but as I've changed, I just can't listen to anything. But the new album, the Jesus one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I listened to that, and I love Jay Electronica's album.
Okay. Okay.
I love that. Those two albums, pretty much the only music that I have. Outside of that, I listen to a lot of classical music, a lot of Beethoven, Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. A lot of classical music.
I listen to classical music if I'm playing chess. I'm definitely gonna listen to some classical music. It helps me think. Definitely helps me think better when I'm playing chess. The I met you a few months ago. You were working on something, a project. Are you still working on that, or is that on hold?
Yeah. So we are, COVID really had me like sit down. So I've got to go back. I have so much stuff that I just didn't get a chance to finish. I'm looking forward to it all, but this 100 acre project has been totally consuming my life for the last week. And by the grace of God, I was able to get that website up today. But I have so many people that I have to interact with. I have other people that I have to connect with. And so it's there's not a lot of time and energy left over for me to visit previous projects that I was on. But that one I want to finish because we have an amazing project called the Resurrection Project. And that is, I don't want to put too much out there because it's so dope. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to spoil it. But we got you on there and we got your father on there. And just with you two alone, we might go triple we might go triple platinum just with that alone, man. Be honest with you.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I want to thank you, Brother Farrakhan, for coming on the People's Podcast. Thank all the people who are commenting. I look forward to any way that we can support and promote it. Doing for self, ownership, independent land. It sounds like a win-win to me. May Allah continue to bless you and your family, sir. And thank you all for watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off of the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, my brother. May Allah bless you and your family as well.
Thank you, sir.